It is time for a follow-up of last year's video about packing for South Africa. I went back to South Africa again this year, and this time for 2 months instead of about 2.5 weeks as last time. So it's been quite a different way of packing for 2 months, staying only in one place, which is actually quite uncommon that I do even while I'm at home. Usually I'm just on the move somewhere and not really stationary in one place. So the main pack that I was using was this one, which is a Baron rolling duffel bag. And the good thing about this one is that it's soft, so it kind of stretches out and it takes a lot of stuff. It's not completely full, and it weighed in at around 18 kilos. And the last video I made on this subject came in at 53 minutes, so we'll see if I'm able to keep this a little bit shorter now. That's my challenge for today. Let's see what's in the main pack, and then we go to my tech bag right afterwards. First, a very well used item during the trip, my day bag. This is the Uniqlo 3-way bag. If you watch my videos about packing on this channel, you've seen this bag in one of my recent trips. It is really good. I used it every single day. It was my daily driver bag for the whole trip. Then there is a lot of shoes, and I find when you're gonna go for such a long time to one place, you have multiple purposes, gonna do a lot of different things. It's really hard not to pack a lot of different shoes. So I might have ended up packing too many. I even bought 2 pairs of shoes down in South Africa as well. So yeah, these are the shoes that I had when going back. We were dancing a lot, and I have a pair of Crockton Jones dance shoes that I use for pretty much every single dance event that I go to. Then I bought a pair of running/trekking shoes, just random, really cheap, because I don't really own a pair of shoes like that. So I figure, yeah, I mean, I have space, I will bring them back home and maybe I will use them whenever I go walking or running here. I also had a pair of Converse, which I used quite a lot. I like Converse when traveling. You can use them without socks. You can use them for a broad array of activities, and they look quite good as well. Then there is the shoes that I had while I was traveling, my Crockton Jones Hallam, brown leather ones. I really enjoy them. I was unsure in the beginning of the trip if I should have brought them, but actually it turned out that I used them quite a lot, and mainly I used them when I was wearing like nicer suit or suit pants, because wearing Converse together with suit pants is not a very good idea, I think. And my most used shoes by far in the whole trip, pair of black Toms. I bought them from an online store in South Africa, and I used them a lot for dancing. I used them for like everyday out on town stuff, and I even used them for some lighter trekking ones. I think these are like the most versatile travel shoes you can buy. They pack up extremely flat, take no space at all. If you want to, you can like use them. They double as slippers, so you just push down the heel like that and just stick your foot in instead of like taking them on as regularly. Yeah, they're such a good shoe, and I recommend them for everyone to bring on every single trip. And the last pair of shoes that I had was my Birkenstock. And actually these were, I think, the pair that I use probably the fewest times, together with the running shoes that I really didn't use a lot. I kind of had the idea that I had to bring a pair of sandals just because I'm going to a warm country. But I usually don't wear sandals that much, and it was the same in this trip. I didn't wear the Birkenstocks very much. So I actually could have gone without them, I think. Then a few items before we come down to the packing cubes. One thing that I traveled with, but then only packed away, just a beanie from Fjällräven. Good to have in Sweden, not so good to have when it's 35 degrees and sun all the time. My go-to travel suit jacket from Tiger of Sweden. I use it like pretty much every flight that I take. So that one was actually not in this, that was on me while I was traveling. And then essential travel item that should always be like with you, merino wool buff. You can use it on your neck if you feel cold on the plane, or you can use it as an eye mask to cover up the eyes instead. Super versatile item that I don't know how I made it without it before. Yeah, we're quickly approaching the packing cubes down here, but a few things that I brought home that I didn't have in the bag when I went to South Africa. A painting that I bought from a guy out on the street that I really liked, of Bocop. So I'm gonna find a spot for that one. And then there is some coffee from Suitcase in Kailicha. So this is the coffee that they are roasting in Kailicha, that is kind of a blend from a few different African countries. So I'm really keen. It smells so good. I'm very keen to drink this while at home, to have a memory of the townships in Cape Town. And the last thing that I bought and brought was a few vinyl records. Actually, there's 2 vinyl records, and it's one that I got as a gift from Mango Groove, from one of the DJs. And then there is one that I bought, which is a Cab Calloway record. Records in South Africa was approximately 10 times more expensive than buying records in Gothenburg, so it was not the best idea to buy swing records while in South Africa. Better to do it at home. Alright, for the main items, the main packing items in this bag, I was using one necessity bag, 2 small packing cubes from Cabin Zero, 1 large packing cube from Cabin Zero, 1 large packing cube from Snugpack, and then there is also 1 extra tote bag, fabric bag. I love these, use them all the time while traveling, so I have 1 in there and 1 in my tech bag. And also tech towel, my least used item on the whole trip. There were towels everywhere we stayed. I really didn't use it a single time. That's it. Now we're gonna look at what's in these guys. Starting off with the necessity, hairspray, perfume, a bunch of different skin products, shaving cream, some beard oil, trimmer, a toothbrush, and some aspirin, some toothpaste, and some heating gel. Not the most exciting part of this bag. The small packing cubes were for underwear, as well as swimwear and ties, suit ties. Since we were dancing and dressing up quite a bit, I brought 3 ties, and they might be the most exciting thing in this bag. So 1 blue, 1 black, and 1 red tie. There's also my sushi shorts, the perfect swimming shorts, because you also have food with you. And then there are the socks that are still clean from the trip. In the other one, there's the dirty stuff that I haven't washed up yet. There's a total of 10 pieces of underwear and 10 socks. And 10 socks, definitely too much to bring on this kind of trip where you don't wear socks that much. 10 underwear might have been a little bit too few, so I would have swapped a few of those socks for some more underwear. First big packing cube. Let's see what is in it. So the first item here is my jacket. This was kind of the main jacket I used when it was colder days, and also when traveling down to South Africa. This is a vintage Fjällräven jacket. It's quite lightweight, not super lightweight by any means. It's not waterproof. It's more of like a windproof and just all-round nice jacket. I have 2 merino wool sweaters, 1 gray from Uniqlo, 1 black from H&M. The most versatile sweater, I think. Plain, goes with almost any other item, and also doesn't collect any like odor or anything. It's just like you don't need to wash them. They're not even recommended to wash very often, so they're super good to use. Then there is a total of 3 merino wool t-shirts, 1 gray, 1 blue, and 1 black. Those were my go-to t-shirts during the whole trip, and the best t-shirts ever. These are all from Icebreaker, all the 3 of those t-shirts. Then I had 2 dress shirts with patterns. So 1 a little bit stripy and 1 with elephants on. Good theme there. There is a cotton t-shirt, and before I used to travel only with cotton t-shirts. Now that I moved over to traveling with merino wool t-shirts, the cotton t-shirts, I brought 1 just in case. I used it a few times, but merino wool t-shirts definitely the way to go when it comes to traveling. And then I had my robe. This is like a morning bath robe. It's actually something that I really liked when we went to South Africa last year. The thin morning robes that you got in the hotel room, so I really wanted one, and now I'm bringing it almost on every trip that I take. It's perfect. That's everything from the first packing cube. Second packing cube. Let's see what is in here. Starting off with a white dress shirt. Since we went dancing, I need a white dress shirt to go with the suit. So 1 white dress shirt there. My black pants. And these are a pair of pants that I bought at a Kickstarter campaign from a brand called Wanderous. I'm quite sure this brand doesn't exist anymore. I think there's not even a trace of the company anymore, because everyone hated the product so much that you cannot find the products anywhere any longer. But I kind of like them, and I use them so much that now they are falling apart. This might have been the last trip that I will ever use these pants on. I bought a pair of brown pants down there. These were my go-to pants for most of the trip. They are not full length, they kind of end 10 centimeters probably above the heel. So a little bit shorter pants, pretty good for the weather down there, and super comfortable fit in this case. Then my swimming slash board shorts that I used when surfing or when it was really hot and I wouldn't dare wearing long pants. It's not often that I wear shorts out on town, but sometimes, and then it was these guys. They are also bought down in South Africa. They're from Hurley and they're kind of plain, a little bit dressier for being swimwear. The next pair of shorts, my Moods of Norway dress shorts. They come together with a suit, so there's actually 4 pieces in this suit. The jacket, the pants, the shorts and the vest. And I use them quite a bit. And they go really well just together with a black t-shirt as well. You don't have to dress them up. And then, last but not least, in this packing cube, there is my suit. This is a blue vintage suit, a little bit striped. I used it for when we needed to dress up for nicer occasions while dancing. And that's all. That's my 18 kilos that I was packing in the main bag. Now let's move over to my tech bag. The tech bag that I was using carries pretty much all electronics that I use on a somewhat regular basis. And I didn't really want to leave anything behind, so I just decided to bring a little bit more stuff than I might have needed. But actually I used almost all the stuff that is in this bag. I weighed it now and it's actually about 13 kilos. So it's quite a lot of electronics, and it wouldn't have passed if I had to weigh in. But since it's only one piece, I could just have taken out a bunch of stuff, put it in one of my tote bags, and then I would have been able to pass with the weight limits. In the bag, Cabin Zero, military 45 liter, and it actually loads off the weight off your shoulders quite well. It has this hip strap and the harness strap, and the carry system, like, there was really no problem to carry this, even if it was apparently 13 kilos. So I'm very happy about bringing this while traveling. Let's have a look at what is inside it. First, Clean Canteen water bottle, always with me, usually in the side pocket or inside the bag if it's not as full as it is right now. On top, while traveling, I always keep my necessity kit that I bring with like the most important items, so that I need it on a flight or when I have a layover. There is a deodorant, a toothbrush, some toothpaste, earplugs, aspirin, and some washing cream, and a skin product that is kind of a versatile all-use skin product, moisturizing-ish. A comb, lip balm, and a few multivitamin tablets. And then this is the transparent Osprey necessity kit. Super handy, you just take it out, you don't need to repack anything into other bags when you're in the airport. I would definitely never ever go traveling without this one for anything liquid that I'm bringing. Next item here, in a bag, there are my main headphones. These are Bang & Olufsen H8, and they're on-ear headphones. Last year when I went to South Africa, I didn't bring these guys because I thought it was like a little bit too valuable item, and I didn't want to risk them getting stolen or getting lost. I brought them this time. I decided to take the risk, but actually didn't use them that much. Mainly because it was so warm that I kind of just didn't want to wear headphones. And wearing on-ear headphones kind of messy when it's super warm outside. So they were actually not that well used. Moreover, in this one I keep some random sound and cable and different things. And here is my sound card. This is a Dragonfly from AudioQuest. Really good when DJing. Great sound comes out of it. I have a little 4G modem that I thought I might use, but then I spent most of my time in co-working centers and didn't really need a modem because there was Wi-Fi. I have the pen for my tablet/computer. I have the 3.5 cable that I use together with the headphones when plugging them in. And I have a micro SD to regular SD adapter so that I can plug into my computer with all the different devices that use micro SD. Next up, we have my other little box of different electronics. In here we have Zoom H1, which is actually in my pocket right now. So I'm recording the sound from this for this video using the Zoom H1. But this little bag that I keep it in can represent the Zoom H1. Also, there is the DJI Osmo Pocket, which is the camera that I'm filming with right now, but this case will represent the Osmo Pocket. I have a nice kind of fabric coated micro USB cable with an adapter to USB-C. This is the USB cable that I use the most because it has all the different options that you need. Then there is my power brick that I use for USB charging. This is from Logilink, and it's super handy because it has the USB-C with 60 watts output. So you can charge a computer easily with it. And it also has 3 USB-A ports that charge other devices. The USB-C cable that goes with it to charge the tablet/computer, and then an extra small micro USB cable. There's also this presenter clicker that I kind of brought by mistake. I don't know why I brought it, but actually I used it a few times when I was making my SEO education. It was super handy to have that item, but maybe not the thing that I thought I would have the most use of. There is a USB-C to HDMI adapter that I use with the tablet computer. And that's it for this bag. Then there is my Sony Nex 6 camera with the 18 to 200 millimeter lens. The same one as I brought on the last trip to South Africa. And I keep it in this really simple soft case. I wanted to take as little space as possible and weigh as little as possible. Let's move on to computers, because that's something that I was using a lot. I was working there, doing my regular freelance work, and I needed computers. So I had my 17-inch MSI GS73 VR in a case, and I also had my Lenovo Meeks 720 with the keyboard cover. Having 2 computers might seem like an overkill, but actually it was super handy. Mainly because the big computer had a failure of the fans, I had to leave it at a repair shop, and then I needed another computer to work on for the time when it was broken. So it was really a good thing that I brought the two of them. Also, I use the smaller computer a lot when I'm DJing, because I don't want the big one that has really bad battery life and also is super chunky and heavy to bring around when I'm just gonna play music and there's kind of a little bit of space, maybe not a full table that you can sit by. So yeah, it's actually a great decision, I think. The power brick that goes together with the MSI computer. Logitech K380 keyboard that I use as external keyboard when I set up in a co-working center. And I have the Logitech MX Master 2S that I also use all the time with both the different computers. Super handy because it has both the keyboard and the mouse you can use with 3 different devices. So I can set it up at the same time to run with the big computer, the small computer, and my mobile phone. That's something I value a lot. Necessary to have is a converter to use the South African plugs, especially with the main computer. For all the co-working places, I also want a stand to get better ergonomics and to be able to use the computer with the external mouse and the external keyboard. And this is the Roost stand. Really handy stand. It's a little bit too expensive, I find, but I use it all the time, almost every day, so I would not go traveling without it again. I also had a mouse pad, which was pretty good at different places where they didn't have very sleek tables, so super good to bring a mouse pad for doing work on. My hat, most of the time I'm wearing it, but when I'm not wearing it I put it in this bag. For bringing coffee and making coffee I have this Espro travel mug. It's actually a French press, but it's also a travel mug. So it's quite a handy travel item. You put coffee in, you just put this one in and you press like a regular French press. I actually didn't use it that much because we had coffee machines in most of the places where we were staying. While DJing, I use this. It's the Tractor Z1, and I use it for controlling the sound and controlling the software, start, stop, change volume, change gain, all of those things that you do when playing music. Then I had a little piece of fabric, and this actually replaced the pocket towel that I said before I never used. This one is much nicer fabric, and it's actually quite beautiful, even though it's very wrinkled right now. But I put it in my bag and brought it everywhere. Used it as a scarf, used it as a little blanket, used it as a towel at times. Came in handy many times. As I said before, tote bags, they're a must. This one I had in my tech bag most of the time. Great packing bag here. Binocular, definitely something that you want when you go to South Africa. There's a lot of interesting things to look at, both animals and nature stuff. So I recommend it a lot. This one I got in Simonstown last year in South Africa. Also power bank with the USB-C cable to be able to charge the phone on the go. Stand for the phone or for the DJI Osmo Pocket. The little stand with the phone holder, and also the more Gorilla Pod copy thing. Those two I had, and when using both the Zoom H1 and the DJI Osmo Pocket at the same time, it was really good to have two stands. A fabric bag with a few accessories for GoPro or for DJI Osmo Pocket. Because I didn't bring my GoPro, I only brought Osmo Pocket. And a few accessories to be able to mount it in creative ways. Charger for the camera battery. And a USB-A to USB-B cable that goes together with the tractor interface. That's all the stuff that's in the main pocket. There is a little front mesh pocket here that I put some valuables in. So the stuff that goes in here is my watch, my passport, and my wallet, and my little moleskin notebook where I write goals and make some lists about really important things that I want to carry with me at all times. Then I also had some business cards that I carried around as well. Last but not least, we have the front pocket. And I had two things here that I wanted easy access to. The first one is the larger notebook that I use in the mornings for journaling. So I want this to be easy to access in the front pocket. And there's a pen attached to it as well, so you always know that you have a pen when you want to write something in it. And then there is my Kobo Aura 1 e-reader. I put a bunch of books in it, but the best thing is that I could just download books in Swedish during the trip, and just whenever I had finished a book, could just get a new one. Right now I'm reading a book about the history of South Africa, which is very, very interesting to understand the country a little bit more. And that's all the items. Am I entirely happy about everything that I packed? Everything that you see here and all the stuff that you saw from the main bag? Yeah, actually I am really happy about it. The two things that I would have changed would have been to take less socks and one or two fewer pairs of shoes. Except that I think pretty much everything in this packing setup was really, really good for 2 months in Cape Town, 2 months in the same city, not moving around that much, but still moving a few times from place to place, and just having two bags so that it was not too hard to move around. If you have any questions about these items or about how I was thinking when I was packing, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And if you want more of this stuff or more of the stuff that I'm producing here, make sure to subscribe to the channel so that I see you in the next video. Have a nice day and hope you get to travel somewhere as soon as possible. Bye!